With all the bullish sentiment entering the crypto sector once again, is it possible that Theta has finally found itself a macro bottom and getting ready to move back to the upside, rewarding those who have been patient all this time? In this video, I'm going to take a look at the price action of Theta, and I'm going to show you a couple things that I am beginning to see take place inside the chart. Let's get into the video. And here we have Theta up on the daily chart in trading view. And Theta did manage to hold on to this level right here that I marked on my chart in the last analysis. This horizontal coming in at $4.66. And I was mentioning that if that level holds, that likely Theta is going to push its way to the upside. However, had that area broke, that's when I was looking for a test down to around the $4 mark, which is this liquid zone that I've had marked on my chart for quite some time. So since then, Theta has pushed off that area and is even working on taking out the 0.236, which is the first major fib level that I was watching to the upside. We do see a cluster price action getting up above that level right back here. Nice celery stick breaching up above, coming in on good volume down below as well. But ultimately, we did get this bearish engulfing candle right here, closing down below, and then price action spilled to the downside just slightly. Since then, though, we're getting another nice celery stick right here, closing well up above, and we're getting it's accompanied on pretty good volume down below as well. And since that break, we do see that price actions back testing that area and so far holding it as support and potentially working on a little bit of follow through here as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here in the coming days, but starting to look quite good, especially if we get that follow through here. Now, I'm going to take us into a weekly chart for a minute here because there's something quite significant going on here. And for the first time in quite some time, we're just barely seeing a higher low on price action on a weekly. This green candle here just barely getting above the candle body of the one prior to it, and some sloppy sideways action since, but this week is beginning to look like follow through. The weekly candle still does have 5 days remaining in it, so it remains to be seen what we get here, but this is a higher low, and for me, this is the etchings of a potential macro bottom for Theta. It's the first step, as far as I'm concerned, is seeing a higher low begin to show up on the weekly chart. And this chart here speaks more to the hodlers versus a daily chart, perhaps, as things do take a long time to play out in these charts. Normally, you can see back here when Theta blew its lid on April 12th. That before, it was several weeks before it stuck in its potential bottom on this candle right here, coming in on July 19th. Now, the next thing I'm going to be looking for is a higher high, but the rest of the market has been hinting at some seriously bullish price action to the upside. We had Bitcoin recently break to new all-time high. It is pulling back right now, kind of to be expected. I mean, it had a pretty nice run there. Some of the momentum oscillators were getting a little bit nuclear on the dailies and the shorter term time frames, so a little bit of a pullback is nothing of surprise, but with that going on and the whole market beginning to shift back into potential bull mode here, and we could see a pretty significant bull run, it's nice to see that Theta is potentially sticking in a bottoming formation on that macro level. So now I'm going to be looking for the higher high. Now, I would say that comes off the table. That idea comes off the table if we do see price action for whatever reason, whether the market dumps or Bitcoin goes in the toilet. But if price action comes back down and starts breaking below this horizontal here, that's when I'm going to, begin to think things are beginning to look dicey again. But especially if it gets down below this liquid zone here that has the top side around $4 and that bottom side coming in around $3.64. But that is not what I think is happening. However, I am not smarter than the market, so I do like to identify an area where my idea could be wrong. But this is looking quite good. This is legitimately looking quite good to see that higher low coming in for the first time. Let's see if we can get that follow through. It'll be an interesting week. I am still watching the 0.382. I've been talking about this level quite a bit, and that is coming in around $8.25, and that's the next major area for me. I mean, we start seeing weekly candles close above that level, and as you can see, it'd be the first time we see weeklies close above that level in quite some time, and that would likely, I don't see why that wouldn't initiate a test over time up around the 0.5, which is coming in around $9.69, and then perhaps a very short-term pullback from there, but getting a higher high at the very least at that point with some candle bodies would be nice. I don't want to see any more of these gross wicks getting up in around that area. But my eyes are going to be fixed upon the 0 spot 382 coming in around that $8.25 mark, getting up above that. Let's pay very close attention to the 0.5. That's coming in around that $9.75 mark. And to the downside for invalidations of all of this, well, first of all, I'm going to be looking at this horizontal as the warning shot because we'd officially be taking out this pivot point on the market here. And then things get really ugly if Theta gets down below this level here, but I don't think that's what's happening. So let's keep our eyes on this in the coming week. Things are beginning to look interesting here across the market, across the whole market, and seeing a potential bottoming formation show up on Theta is interesting. Let's watch and see what happens. Thanks so much for coming by, you guys. Looking forward to seeing the next video. And until I see ya, have yourself a powerful day.